Not all lights lead you home. Obsidian Mind, where fear takes form.
When I moved into my new apartment, everything felt ordinary. A quiet street, dead trees lining the cracked sidewalks, a view that was nothing special, an old chain-link fence, patches of dying grass, and broken street signs leaning at awkward angles. After a few nights, something caught my eye. Outside my bedroom window across the street, a street lamp would flicker to life, a dim, sickly yellow light, standing alone near the rusted fence, humming quietly against the silent night. At first I thought I simply hadn't noticed it during the day, but when I checked the next morning, there was nothing. No pole, no lamp, only crumbling sidewalk and skeletal weeds pushing through the cracks. I told myself it was an illusion, a reflection from another street. Maybe a trick of angles, maybe just a tired mind playing games after long days of unpacking. But the next night it was there again, and it was closer, no longer across the street. Now it stood at the edge of the sidewalk just before the curb. I stared at it for what felt like hours. The light buzzed faintly. It seemed almost alive. The following night it moved again. Now it stood directly outside my window. It shouldn't have been possible. There was no physical lamp there. No foundation, no wires. Yet there it stood, humming, casting a weak pool of sickly light against my curtains. I stopped opening the blinds. I tried sleeping with the lights on. I even tried leaving the apartment for a few hours after dark. But no matter what I did, when I returned, the light was waiting. It knew. It was patient. One night around 2:45 a.m., I woke up to an odd sound. Not buzzing this time, not humming. A tap, soft, precise. Tap, tap, tap. I lay frozen in bed. The tapping came again. A slow, deliberate knock against the glass. Not the frantic tapping of tree branches. Not the metallic rattle of loose frames. It was deliberate, measured, like someone gently testing the barrier. The air in the room grew heavy. Each breath felt harder to pull in. The tapping grew louder, closer, as if whatever was outside leaned against the window. I squeezed my eyes shut. I willed myself to stay still. Maybe it would leave if I did not move. Maybe if I pretended not to hear. But then I heard it. A voice whispered through the glass. It was my name, spoken in a slow, dragging rasp. A voice that sounded almost human but stretched wrong, distorted. Come look. The words were barely audible, more vibration than sound. Against my better judgment, I turned my head. The blinds had shifted, just enough to reveal a thin line of vision, and through that narrow gap I saw it. No longer a street lamp. Now it was a figure, tall, twisted. It wore the light like a skin, a sickly yellow glow leaking from beneath folds of torn darkness. Where its face should have been, there was only an empty void. Glowing faintly from within, it pressed one elongated hand against the window. The glass did not shatter. It did not crack. But the surface seemed to ripple, like water around a sinking stone. I stumbled back, heart hammering against my ribs. The lights in the apartment flickered. The air vibrated with a low, pulsing hum. Then silence. When I dared to open my eyes again, the window was empty. The blinds still swayed gently, as if brushed by unseen fingers. The light outside was gone. I moved out the very next day, left half my belongings behind. I did not care. Finding another apartment was not the hard part. It was forgetting that yellow glow, forgetting the way it called to me. Even now, months later, living in another city, in another building, I still feel it. Some nights when the streets are quiet and the world seems to hold its breath, I catch a glimpse from the corner of my eye, a faint sickly yellow glow, waiting, moving closer, one street at a time.